There's one little extra thing that belongs in the Knuth-Morris-Pratt section, and that's the Knuth-Morris-Pratt prefix function. That's just a comment, essentially. It turned out that the same array that we computed, this array of failure links, is useful for other problems too, for all kinds of questions on strings, actually. And you can show this box down here. So I explained to you how to construct the failure links using this automaton and by simulating the automaton on the part of the pattern where you forget the first character. That doesn't really tell you how to compute this failure link, say, manually. If you wanted to do that, you could, of course, simulate how to construct the algorithm. But here's an alternative way that might be easier or quicker. And so you might forget about this. So there's a slightly different definition that differs just in it's an off by one. It turns out that most people use this definition when they rather probably should use this one because it matches what happens in the automaton, but that's how things sometimes happen. The important part is this box. So a failure link from a state J goes back to some state X. Okay, same X. This is the symbol X. This is the cross for mismatch. So I'm looking at the prefix of the pattern up to letter J, excluding letter J, so the length J prefix. And I'm trying to put the same pattern again here, 0 up to J. And I try to match those two. Maybe I should leave some space in between. I promised you that you will see this picture again and again. So we try to find a way to shift the pattern forward so that all the characters that we put on top of each other here are the same. Okay, they have to match. Another way to say this is, well, a prefix of this string has to be a suffix of this thing. And if we start at 1, it just means that this red part has to be at least by 1 position. You have to do at least something. Otherwise, you can always align everything with itself without moving it. That's not interesting. That's how the 1 comes into this. The 1 implies that. And there's one more thing that this says. It's the length of the longest prefix. So we tried to maximize this matching part. This green part is actually our value of x. Okay, so it's talking about the overlap. You take a string and you put it below itself. You try to shift it forward until it matches itself or part of itself. And the longest overlap, the longest matching part you can get, that's the value of this failure link. It's an entirely different way to define or explain what goes on. And you can prove that they're the same, but we won't do that.